There we go. Welcome, Darth Precious Metals, to the What podcast. How you doing, buddy?
Yeah, not too bad. Thank you. Thank you so much.
I've been really looking forward to this one because obviously we chat quite a bit outside of social media and YouTube, which is really lovely. And I've had an inkling of your story of how where you've come from and how you become Darth Precious Metals. And I said to you during that conversation, I'd love to record your story, and you said, "Yeah, I'd love to do it." So here we are. Thank you so much.
Yeah, here we are. Yeah,
Yeah,
it's all good. It's all good. It's all good. I'm so
yeah,
glad I've got the chance to do this because I
yeah,
think this will be
definitely,
cool.
definitely. Darth's quite a prominent person in the UK stacking community and collecting community, and so am I. So what I've been trying to do, or what I'm going to try and do with these series, is just basically have a chat, go through your story, mate. So we're going to start from the beginning. Little
Right.
Darth, before he was Darth Precious Metals. where
Yeah.
where was Little Darth? Where did you originate from, mate? Where was you born, and what was it like being Little Darth growing up wherever you were?
Yeah. So I was born back in Romania in the land of Transylvania. Everybody knows Transylvania because the land of Dracula, right? Right. That's done.
Yeah, buddy, can I just ask you a quick question? Because I knew you was from Transylvania from before. Whereabouts is
Yeah.
that in Europe? So it's Romania, is it? A part of
Yeah.
Romania?
Yeah. It's part of Romania, northern part of Romania.
Okay, and is that
Yeah.
a separate state of Romania, or?
No, not really. It
All
used
right,
to be
okay,
three states back in the day,
okay,
18, all the way to 1918, really. But
uh,
since then, all three states, Romanians, all of them, you know, we came together and
okay,
yeah, the big players let us unite the country. Let's
okay.
let's put it like that.
Fair enough. So sorry, I digressed there.
Yeah,
So
yeah, yeah.
yes, what was it like for little Darth in Transylvania?
Yeah, I don't think it was anything special. I do have very, very, and when I say humble, I really mean humble beginnings. Yeah, you can imagine. I was born in 1981, so there
Oh,
you go.
crikey! Yeah,
Yeah, I'm 43 years old. 1981, Romania is still a communist country, right? We
mhm,
didn't have the big revolution and democracy and everything, and multi-party leadership and so on until 1899. So I've got a little bit of how that felt.
yeah,
And it was a little bit strange, to be honest. It was a little bit strange because you don't get the democracy, you don't get the liberty. You know the communist movement, how it is. And I think everybody heard about it, everybody knows a little bit about it. So, yeah, it wasn't that nice,
okay.
you know. Well, as a kid, you obviously you don't realize, you don't get it, you know. And as long as food is coming, candy is coming, you have a roof over your head, hey ho,
Yeah,
you're good. Yeah.
okay,
Yeah, obviously later on you go to school and this, that, and you know, you're going into education and you've hit 12 years old, you start reading a few books here, a few books there, you know, grandparents are there, they're talking about the 50s, 60s, 70s, 80s, and
yeah,
so on. And you realize, oh wow, I'm privileged then. Wow. I mean, you need to understand my parents lived in a generation where they had to smuggle in and paid a lot of money for tape cassettes with music, whatever it was,
really,
from Beatles, Elvis, rock and roll, and you know, Joe Cocker and
yeah,
whoever, you name it, Jimi Hendrix. Jimi
okay,
Hendrix was big, was so big in Romania, but you had to smuggle those in. And
okay,
if you know, if police would catch you up or anything, you would go to jail straight away. It was 30 minutes process in front of a judge, done.
wow,
Yeah, yeah. So that was the times. But obviously, you know, we are in the 90s. You go to school, this, that. You get to realize you actually been privilege that you don't live in communist times anymore, and so on and so on. And obviously high school, and yeah, you go to uni, and nothing special really. You just keep on
Okay.
trying. And
Well,
yeah, I would
sorry,
always,
just going back a little bit before we just skip through all those years a bit too quickly. What did you grow up in a city or was you out in the
yeah,
country or?
yeah, it was a small city. It was
Mhm.
a more small city. Um, it had a few, it did had an industrial estate, you know,
Yeah,
just like all small cities, I think, at the time had. Not
yeah,
that much nowadays, because
yeah.
it's different now. Industry is gone, but back in the day, yeah, there were a few production industrial estates there, and people had work, people had access to things, but it wasn't awful as such from that point of view.
Yeah.
But yeah, yeah,
And what was school like? School in in that time? What was your school days
mm,
like?
school days.
Yeah, what was that like?
Uh, well, that's the thing. So my dad always told me, I don't know what's going on with you guys. I don't know what's going on with you people, but this is not school. You're doing nothing,
Okay.
right? So that was his feeling about whatever we were doing in eighth grade, 9, 10 grade, and so on and so on. And I always had to do a little bit more. My dad, bless him, did take care of me as much as he could, obviously, and as much as he knew. And he gave me a little bit of extra reading because he always had the feeling that school is just not enough. And the curricula, let's say, is very lazy. And
Okay.
that was his opinion. And God bless him. It's good that he gave me a little bit extra here, there, because later on, it may be understood maybe a little bit more about the world around me. So, yeah, yeah. But I think that's what we say today, isn't it?
Yeah.
My generation is saying that about whoever is now on 8, 9, 10 grade. We're saying, well, on my time, I was doing a little bit more. My dad told me that, the same thing. Oh, well,
Yeah.
on my time, I was doing a little bit more. So that shows something. That really shows something that as times goes by, I think you get less information, mixed information, and so on and so on.
Okay.
But
So
yeah,
and in those early days of school, before you sort of, I'm a little bit, I'm old school, where it's like
yeah,
infants, juniors, senior school. I know it's all changed now. It's all
yeah,
they talk in years, don't they? But going
yeah.
back into your like early days of school, what was your community like where you lived? What did you sort of get up to out of school? Did you get up to anything, or what was it
What,
like?
what do you what do you mean? Sorry.
What was your community like? Was
Oh,
it sort of pretty open? Was it strict, or what did you get up to out of school in those early days? Anything?
yeah. I think it was quite open because my sort of, if you're referring to junior school, for example,
Yeah,
5 to 8 grade,
yeah,
because then we have 9 to 12 grade,
yeah.
right? But 5 to 8 grade, uh, I was uh, back in the 90s. We just got out in democracy.
Okay,
And, the people were hungry,
o-
very, very hungry for democracy.
okay,
And everything was allowed, pretty much everything. Copy paste whatever you've seen in the UK, copy paste whatever you've seen in the US, because we never had it. So
right,
obviously, starting from the 90s, you get to you get to do everything. Nobody cared,
right.
So it was a bit of a, all the way to 2000 was a bit like that. But yeah, I think it was an open community. Uh, you know, uh, People had enough with restrictions and so on over the
Sure.
current times. And then obviously when you get the chance and you get to live into that kind of community. And um, there's always the conflict of generations.
Sure.
There are the older guys that always said, no, you can't do this. You're not allowed to do this. No, you shouldn't do this.
Yeah.
But then, the younger generations, like, I don't know, I was in the fifth grade and, I had maybe a few bigger friends than me, they were already in high school and this and that.
Yeah.
And they were going, yeah, Darth, yeah, of course you can. Yeah, do it, mate. Do it. So just do it.
Yeah.
You're free now. You can do it. We're all free. We can do this. Oh,
Wow.
God. Right. Yeah. So,
That must have been
yeah,
quite a change then
it was.
for the community
It
going
was.
going from a feeling of restriction to freedom as we know it.
Yeah. But, the downside comes with that because once you're developing into freedom, to democracy, you also get all the rest that and slowly builds up. Um, Drugs, isn't it?
Yeah.
And all other kind of, well, I want to say bad things, all
Yeah.
kind of bad habits and so on.
Yeah.
Uh, Gangs, drugs, and all of that. So
And
yeah,
did you witness that change quickly? Or was it over a gradual period of time? Because we're now talking, you must have been around the age of 10, roughly
yeah,
11, 10,
yeah,
11. So going from 10, that's significant for a young lad as well at that age, isn't it?
yeah,
Going from 10 to sort of 15, 16, you must have seen a real lot of change going on, especially amongst your peers of your same age.
yeah, pretty much. And you are part of sort of the first generation that's really, really young into that democracy.
Yeah.
So your parents don't know what to do with you
Yeah.
because they never been in that situation before.
Yeah.
And everything that comes with your son when he's coming home,
Yeah.
it's going to be a problem. It's going to be a problem. And you're going to have to be careful how you treat it. And yeah, I think my parents did all right most
Yeah.
of the time. But
Okay.
yeah. But
So,
yeah, you can
yeah,
see that growing and growing all the way to, from 10-year-old to 15, 18-year-old, you're right there finishing high school.
sure.
Things have changed now a little bit. You can see how the country, how the community, everybody went through this with easy steps, with goods and bads and so on and so on.
Yeah.
And yeah, then after uni and yeah.
So did you, at what age did you leave school?
What age did I left school?
Did you leave school? Yeah. Do you leave at 16? Oh,
So yeah, in Romania the system is a bit different. So
okay.
you have 11th grade and 12th grade, which is really considered college, and you do that around, what was it, 18, 19 years old.
Okay.
So when you're 19, you finish the 12th grade and then you go to uni.
All right. Okay.
Yeah, yeah. But you're right there. You leave home just in perfect times.
Yeah.
Perfect. You're 19. You don't need to worry about your parents. You'll get a dormitory somewhere in a different town where there's this big uni where you can do whatever you want to study, and so on and so on.
Mm-hmm.
And you're thinking, yeah, freedom at last. But yeah, and it
Yeah.
was good. It was good times, to be honest.
Sure. So getting back to your, I don't know, 12, 13,
Yeah.
14, 15. Did you enjoy school, or was it a bit of a battle for you, or did you enjoy
Uh,
it?
I didn't. I didn't enjoy it as such.
Mhm.
I wasn't doing very good because the system was, I don't know, was wrecked, I want to say. But it was just a bad system. It still is today. Don't get me wrong. Nothing changed. In Romania, you don't have the approach from the UK. Still, it's still going in old communist ways. You need to learn word by word, this, that. Uh, you learn everything. It's a lot. Like, I don't know, poor kids, they have 7, 8 classes in one semester, which is a lot. It's too much. It's not going to. It's not going. It's not. It's not looking at you as a kid, as a personality, or what would you like to do.
Okay.
Not really. Everyone's doing the same thing all the way to high school before you go into high school. So all
Yeah.
the way to 8th grade, everybody's just doing the same thing. Nobody's allowed to do nothing. You know, so it was a bit hard because I sucked at chemistry, math, physics, you know, and all that. What's it called? Reality part, isn't it?
Yeah.
But then with whatever it was more humane part, languages and literature, and later on history and I don't know, philosophy and so on. I think that was a bit more me,
Yeah.
sort of. But yeah, I wasn't. I wasn't really good in school. But what I've got lucky with is that I enjoyed reading. So
Okay.
I enjoyed reading. So I've got the chance to kind of know a few little things there, here, there. So
Yeah.
yeah, it wasn't so bad after all.
And what was it like in those like 16, 17-year-old days, 18-year-old days from a social point of view? Did you get up to much? Was there much to do socially?
It was okay because I'll tell you what, I enjoyed that. Um, how would I put it? You were going out, as in out. You
Yeah.
know, you didn't have the actual technology that there is today. Obviously,
Sure.
you had some. I remember. I remember I had a Pentium 4.
Okay.
That was it, right? So that was the level, and internet. I think it just came in sort of when I was 16,
Okay.
something like that. So you had to go out in order to do something, whatever. If you wanted to have fun, you had to go out.
Yeah.
And yeah, you're starting when you're 16, you're starting to go out with your friends, with your mates, you know, playing cool and everything. Start learning how to smoke, this, that.
That's,
All the privileges, let's say. but but I how would I put it? Um, even when you were a kid, I mean, I'm sure older generations knows a lot better than I do. So uh, you know, you're a 10-year-old, 12 years old, 15-year-old. You were going out, mate.
yeah.
You had 30 minutes of animated cartoons or whatever when you were a kid. That was it. Seven
Yeah.
o'clock, 30 minutes. There was one parent whistling from the top floor. You knew everybody went inside for 30 minutes. And after 30 minutes, everybody came out
Right.
hanging around. You know, it was good times. And you get to do that social part. You get to, you know,
Yeah.
everything, everything. But nowadays, oh God, they stay inside with the tablets and everything,
Yeah.
which it has its good. It has its good parts. But then again, you know, it
It
would be
is what it
better
is.
if we could go and socialize a little bit more. But yeah, that was me in I don't know from 12 to 16. And obviously
16.
16 you go out, you go to a club, you
Yeah.
start going to a club, this, that, you know, starting to be a proper teenager and doing
Sure.
all the good and the bad things that you need to do.
Yeah.
So you can call yourself a teenager because yeah.
And that was a good time, the 90s.
Oh yeah.
That must have been about 96, 97 for you, 98, roughly.
Yeah. The one thing I did um in 1995,
Hmm.
was it 95? no, 92. In 1992, I've seen a breakdance movie. Guess what? Oh,
Right.
yeah, for about 3 years. In the mirror, go.
But
Breakdance 1, breakdance 2. Who was it? Ozone and Turbo. That was
yeah, that's right. Yeah.
the main characters.
Yeah.
It was a breakdance 1 and breakdance 2. It was 1984, 87, something like that. Anyway, we haven't seen it until the 1992.
Right.
Yeah, so we are a bunch of kids and we were doing this. And yeah, but we grow into it.
Yeah.
We grow into it and breakdancing. I turn into a proper b-boy. So there you go.
Really?
Oh yeah.
Oh wow.
I had a whole gang and everything, and we were meeting with other gangs from other cities, and we had contests, and we had, you know,
Oh, brilliant.
yeah, it was good. It was really good.
And what
But
did that become a big thing?
no, not really.
No.
But you know, from 12 to 18, 19,
Yeah.
you get to be known locally
Yeah.
because uh, there are not going to be so many people that will do that.
Yeah, exactly.
Because, like I said, early democracy, early everything, and you start to get the Western civilization in
Sure.
and habits and so on. And then there's a bunch of kids, they are 12, 13, 15, and they see this breakdance thing. Oh, okay, come on, we can do this. Right. And that was the day,
Yeah.
pretty much what you were doing all day long, as much as you could. After school, before school, and so on. Weekends was wild. You were meeting up with other gangs and so on and so on. But it was cool. It was friendly, you know.
Yeah.
It was nothing. It was cool. It was very friendly.
Okay.
And yeah, all the way to 18, 19, because there was only a few people in the town that could do that. It was me and another bunch of, I don't know, 9, 10 people all together. And you go in the club and you show off. Obviously, you show off. Oh God, you show off a lot. You did, and you know, you were right there on hand with the DJ. You go, yay, you know what's next. Oh yeah, I know. Okay, let's do this. Bam.
Oh,
It was cool.
brilliant.
It was cool. It was really cool. I loved it.
Yeah, it's good
But
times. The 80s,
yeah.
90s. It's just such a good time. Such a good time. Wow. So that sounds, oh wow. I didn't know that about. We'll have to see some moves one day, mate. No.
Oh, uh, yeah, I could do something from, I don't know, as long as I don't show my face. It's
No,
ugly
no,
enough.
no, I don't mean now. We'll
One day.
yeah, we'll have to see the Darth stack of moves, Darth stack of breakdowns. Wow, that's really cool. That is so cool. And something
Yeah, we
I've been
can put some coins on the floor and show you a few moves, right?
oh, brilliant. That's super.
Oh, God.
So you was breakdancing, just sort of getting by at school. One thing I didn't ask you, did you have any brothers or sisters?
Yeah. Yeah.
Or did you have
Two
brothers,
brothers.
sisters, or
Yeah, two brothers.
was you
Two
oldest?
brothers.
Whereabouts was you in the pecking order?
Sorry?
Where was you in the pecking order? Number one,
No,
two,
I'm
or
the big
three?
guy, mate. I'm the
You're the
big one.
you're the big brother.
Yeah.
What did they think of you body popping and breakdancing?
Oh, they've done a little bit as
Yeah,
well. Because you look up to your brother and say, hey, yeah, that's cool. I want to do it as well. Oh, okay. Right.
that's
But yeah, we were fighting a lot,
yeah,
for everything.
yeah,
And
sure.
yeah, just like boys being boys, but me being bigger. Oh God. They were getting it, definitely.
I'm sure. I'm sure.
Both of them.
How cool. Oh, brilliant. That's really interesting. Really interesting. Um, so that takes us up to sort of
Yeah.
18, 19. So then do you leave school? Then what do you do?
Well, you go to uni because that's what my parents said. Listen, in order for you from now on to get out of the mud, the mud, if you want to get out of this situation financially, spiritually, intellectually, so on, you're going to have to go to uni because you're not going to make it otherwise. And I did understood that early.
Yeah.
And I knew I'm going to have to go to uni. And I also liked it. I think I was prepared to, get specialized in something and do something with your life.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, you kind of finish high school 18, 19, and then you go to uni, which I did. And it was a bit of a freedom, like I said, as well.
Yeah.
Because your parents are not there anymore. They
Sure.
send you some money and you only coming at home once a month, or maybe every now and then you could come for a full weekend, see how things are, what's going on. But yeah, and then you go back.
Cool. And what was you studying, bud?
Sorry?
What was you studying?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I studied law school. So I finished law school in 2006 because I went in 2000 and I got out. I went in 2000. I made it into law school. First year, second year. First year was okay. Second year was okay. So that gives me, I don't know, 2002. And then I said, I was thinking, right, for the time being, I need some money. So kind of I've left school and I had these little jobs here, there, whatever. And I went back in 2004 and I finished in 2006.
Oh, right. So you was there for 2 years, had a break for 2 years,
Yeah, yeah,
and
yeah,
and then went back and finished. What's that
yeah,
like a degree? Is it or something?
yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
It's a bachelor degree, isn't it?
your law degree.
Yeah.
Okay, okay. Was that any particular law or
No, it was general law,
okay?
but the way it goes in the EU, um, you study general law for about 4 years altogether, but really year 3 and year 4, you study criminal law and civil law
All right. Okay.
mainly. So you're prepared sort of for the two major areas of law. And then if you have a couple of exams after that, if you want to become a judge, if you want to become, I don't know, a lawyer, if you want to become a legal advisor, you have a couple of exams to pass: civil law, criminal law, and commercial law.
Yeah.
And yeah, at some point I went through those as well. And at some point I made it into an international airport as a legal advisor. But Romania being Romania, this will sound odd, but I'm sure the listeners will know what I mean. What I mean when I say the level of corruption was so big, and you really had to be very, very good at this in order to make it out from the group. In
Okay.
order to stand out, you really had to be good. And I don't think I was really that brilliant, to be honest. I knew my stuff, but I don't think I was very, very special. But then again, eventually, I remember after I finished uni, I stayed at home. I went back home for a whole year and I just studied for um, the legal advisor exam. Uh, but yeah, it was hard. It was very hard. It was hard times. And yeah, but eventually you get there. And yeah, slowly you start to realize things. The
Yeah.
reality hits you,
Sure.
just like with everybody else when you finish uni. And when you go into uni, you have these big dreams that you're going to do this and you're going to do that and this and that. And then when you finish uni and you realize you know nothing, because that's how the system is made. Still,
Yeah.
in uni, they give you a lot of stuff, but actually none of it is going to be practical. You're not going to use any of it, very, very little. And what actually makes the job, it will be practice. So, but I think that's the same with many countries
Yeah.
in the world. With today educational system, I think it's pretty much the same thing. You get to learn a lot of stuff that you're not going to use, and really, unless you are given the chance to actually do the job and have some practice,
Yeah.
yeah, you might make it. You might make it, but otherwise, nah, not really, not really. But yeah, it is what it is. It was a journey. It was interesting. You get to at least to learn a lot of stuff, a lot of things, and you know, uh, nothing nothing gets you uh, with law school than one thing. I think the major advantage for anyone who goes to law school is just one. You look at the same thing from different angles, sort
Yeah.
of, but pretty much that's it. And you kind of earth it into a bit more into the reality, into what was going on around you.
Sure.
Because you're looking at all those laws and all those code of practices and all of that. So,
Mhm.
but rather than that, really, law school is not, I don't know. If I would have to do again the choice, I wouldn't go to law school, honestly. But
Okay.
it was what it was.
Okay. And on your two, what did you get up to on your 2 year break in between
Oh,
uh, your studies?
well, I I needed money for for school, but I just wanted some money for myself, really.
Yeah.
I kind of had enough. I kind of had enough just going to school, learning this, that, and I just wanted stuff.
Yeah. Yeah.
I just wanted stuff. And
Yeah.
I went, you know what? I need to stop. I don't want to do this for a while. I
Yeah.
need to work. I need to get some money.
Hmm.
I want a second-hand car,
Hmm.
You're thinking like that. I want a second-hand car. I just want something to drive, whatever it is. I don't care. A
Sure.
car. I want to get I want to get a license driving. I want to get a car. I want to drive something. I kind of had enough of this. And yeah, I found some work. There were a few back then. Romania just was in the preparation steps for uh, getting into the EU.
Okay.
And every country that does that, it has access to lots of money to implement certain European projects,
Okay.
from infrastructure to social development, education, and so on and so on. And I've been working on a few projects with different non-governmental organizations for about 2 years, which was not bad. It was a different experience. It was good, you know, mainly in social development.
Yeah.
I've been working with what you call it, vulnerable groups in
All
different
right.
communities,
Mm-hmm.
and we are doing little projects for them, like really, how would I put this? I think it was for a while, for a whole year. For example, I had one of the projects was just requalification
Okay.
for people that were not earning, that much, and they were really in a very poor state, financially speaking. And we were doing that for free with them, and we were finding them a job after the requalification was done, whatever it was, electrician, painter, builder, whatever. We had the money to do it for free
Sure.
for the
Yeah.
people and then get them a job. And yeah, it was really interesting because you get to work with people, you see people frustrations, you see what people are living through, and so on. And there was a bit of hitting a reality wall because I just finished second year of uni, me thinking, oh, I'm going to finish this. I'm going to be, master of the world. Well, not really. Because you go back into reality and you get to work in a couple of projects like this and you see what's going on in the world. And,
Yeah.
it was not very cool. It was not very happy times, but yeah, there was only so much you could do for those people. but it was okay. You feel good about yourself, and I think the whole team that I worked with at the time felt good about themselves because we kind of done something for a few communities, a few local small communities. So hey ho, happy days in the end.
Excellent. Excellent. And did you have much of a, I mean, I've never been to uni, but a lot of people say it's a great social experience. Is it a good social experience that you experienced
It is
in
for
that
sure.
6 years? Because you're in your early 20s, aren't you? So
Yeah,
that prime time.
yeah, yeah. It's about 4 years, but yeah, I took a break for about 2 years,
Yeah, yeah,
but altogether it's about 4 years. Um, but yeah, uni is great from that perspective. It's great. You're just making friends. You meet girls. You know, you
all the
just
all the good stuff.
all the good stuff is happening right there, right there, and you have that freedom still,
Yeah,
even if you are pinned down to books and learning and
yeah,
every day, because otherwise you're not going to pass. Well, not in law school, you're not.
sure.
But anyway, and I had a couple of those. Oh God, yeah. Um, but yeah, it's that freedom that you really enjoy.
Yeah,
There's you have no parents. You're in uni. You can do whatever you want. If you don't want to do nothing today, you can do nothing.
yeah,
You can just go in the old dormitory number 15, 13th floor or whatever it was.
yeah.
With another. I don't know. I think you have four, sometimes six in the same room, students,
Yeah.
and it's just a dormitory with beds, and down the hallway on your left you have the bathrooms, on your right you have the kitchens.
Okay.
Yeah, it was like that. I know it's not the same here in the UK, but that still works in Romania for some reason. So
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah. Excellent. So you come out of there, 2006.
yeah,
I take it you got the general qualification, and then I think I heard you say you did another a year, 2007. You did another year of
yeah,
study.
yeah.
Okay, and at the end of that, you had you what qualification was that?
Well, I was graduated as from law school, but
Okay,
but I I didn't know. I was having second thoughts if I really want to do that. I tried. I really tried for, I think it was a couple of years, 2 years, 3 years to get something in the legal department, private or local government. I just couldn't. I just couldn't. And I'm not saying that maybe I wasn't capable. Maybe the level of corruption was way too big. Either
okay.
way, either way,
Mhm.
I didn't make it until I think it was 2014. Yeah, when I had my first job in a legal department. But until then, I took a job with. So in 2008, I took a teaching job.
Oh, really?
Oh yeah, I was teaching literature to high
Okay,
school students.
okay.
Yeah, that was cool. It was all right. It was very bad money. Don't get me wrong, but
Uh-huh.
it was cool. It was all right because you get to observe how these kids from high school think and
Sure.
what is the right after you generation, sort of
Yeah,
what's going on there.
yeah.
And yeah, I've done that for a few years. And after that, I think in 2011 and 12 and 13. So before, yeah, 2011, 12, 13, I went back to EU projects, which was cool because the money was a lot
Yeah,
better. And having a degree in law, it does help you sometimes with whatever the job, because that says you can think, sort of. it's all that says. It says, okay, so sometimes you can think, yeah, sometimes. Right, okay, we'll give
Yeah.
you the job. Great,
Yeah.
brilliant, thank you. Let's see if I can do this. Right. So it doesn't, yeah. So 2011, 12, 13, mid 13, I think. Yeah, I went back to those EU projects that I told you about.
Yeah.
And in 2014, I finally made it after a lot of years from graduation. I've got a job as a legal advisor in an international airport. And I was
Ah.
looking at the contracts, at all the contracts of the airport.
Hmm.
And at some point, I went a little bit higher, and I think I've got the what you would call is the head of the office, sort
Okay.
of the contracts department from that airport. But yeah, pretty much that was it. 2014 to 2018.
Okay.
That was
Ah,
my journey from uni to having, a few jobs here, there.
sure.
But I enjoyed really the teaching stuff. I enjoyed the EU projects as well. Um, the legal bit was not so bad. It was just very bad paid. So
Yeah.
yeah,
So what was during those times, which is sort of late 20s, early 30s, we're talking now,
yeah,
aren't we?
yeah.
Outside of your day-to-day job and bits and pieces, what was it like community wise? It really changed by then a lot since the transfer that you witnessed in your early days. What sort of, what was social scene like? But Darth,
I think, I think um, it was, how would I put this? I think it was just everybody was trying to do something about their life. I
yeah,
think from the 2000 onwards, the state of the country, it went from sort of good to worse, and is getting worse ever since. Uh, because they kind of, I don't know, the political class really sold the country for nothing, you
okay,
know, and uh, they're still corrupt today, I think, and I haven't kept in touch with the political class as such for the last 5 years, but I get news and messages every now and then with what's going on in Romania, and pretty much nothing changed. But starting 2000, things went down. There was a little crisis, if you remember, in 2000.
no,
Not all the countries felt it,
go on.
but Romania felt it a little bit. And then obviously 2008 was a complete disaster.
Sure.
Absolutely complete disaster, specifically for Southeastern European countries. It was hard. It was hard. And yeah, the spectrum of the community changed because everybody was after money. It was crazy. Whatever
Really?
it was about money. Make more money, make money, make money.
Wow.
And yeah, the society changed a lot from 1990 to 2000, 2005, 8, 10. In 2010, you look in at a different Romanian community. It was already crazy. Everybody, it was at the peak, sort of. Everybody just, crazy, just to make money and so on and so on. And there were not enough jobs out there, and students coming from graduating every year, thousands of them, because that trend turned into a custom, sort of.
Yeah.
You had to go to uni, otherwise you won't make it.
Yeah.
And everybody went to uni, everybody.
Mhm.
And what happened is because everybody went to uni, and that's the problem today as well.
Sure.
We don't get people that knows to do stuff.
Yeah.
We don't have electricians, we don't have builders, we don't have, we
Yeah.
don't have that stuff anymore.
Mm-hmm.
We used to be good at that back in the 80s, 90s,
Mm-hmm.
maybe even 2000. But as long as that generation died and nobody learned the skill anymore from parents or grandparents or something, it was done. Because all we had this, I don't know if this was the case in the UK, but back in Romania, and I think that goes with all Southeastern European countries, we had those professional schools, they were called.
Yeah.
Apprenticeships, sort of, but it was quite long. You finish the 8th grade, and then you go 9, 10, and 11th grade, and you get out with a degree of a shoemaker, a builder, uh, what you call it, a, a chef, for
Yeah.
example, and so on and so on. You study that job for 3 years, you go to practice, and so on and so on. You get at the end of the diploma, and most likely you're going to get a job, even if you're doing privately or hired by a company, or privately as in a, what you call it, I want to say an LTD, it's not an LTD, self-employed.
Yeah.
So you could do that, but all those schools slowly in 2000 started to disappear.
Right.
So by 2008 you don't get any more stuff like that. You don't get people like that. And you can imagine what happened 5 years later, 2013, 14, 15. It was done. It was like, right, what are we going to do now? Because we don't have skilled people anymore. And the situation is the same today. They kind of came back, and they are trying to go back to reinstate and give, the proper honors and the proper respect to those schools that were doing those qualifications.
Mm-hmm.
They're trying to do it, but I don't think they're going to make it, really. I don't know. It would be something. It would be something very, very good if they would go back to that. But
Okay. Just
know.
you mentioned that during that time, you said like people were going crazy.
Yeah.
Can you just so we can sort of, just for the viewers really to understand exactly what you mean, can you give us sort of an example of what you mean? What do you mean by it? It was crazy. It was a crazy time.
It was crazy times, as in the level of corruption was so big. For example, you get I don't know, there's 10 jobs coming in the local government, let's assume, right? With whatever, social assistant, or I don't know, carer, or environmental health officers, or whatever. By the time the local council puts up the job for the public, when they push that in, they actually knew who's going to get the job already.
All right. Okay.
Because in the background, people were calling, paying other people, envelopes with money, get my son, get my cousin, get my friend. I have a friend of a friend. Look, we can pay you this, that. It was insane. You couldn't you didn't even have the chance to at least get selected to an interview,
Really?
just for the face of it. Which was like, okay, yeah, I'll apply, but yeah, I know that already somebody got the job.
Sure.
So pretty much that was Romania in 2000, 2005. It's not that bad anymore, I want to say, because EU intervened at some point, and they made Romania to kind of be more transparent, particularly with that domain. So maybe not. But at the time, that's what I mean when I say it was insane. Everybody was running to get a job. Everybody was running just to make more money, and that community kind of destroyed itself because people, I had the feeling that people were just a lot meaner. They were just mean.
Yeah.
Nothing could get over them if they needed to make money. They would scam anyone if they had to. They wouldn't care. Cousins, friends, this, that. And
Wow.
when you see that, you're thinking, wow, is this what we really?
Yeah.
Wow. And you kind of get disgusted of it. And I think unconsciously, I went to school from 2000 to 2002. But now when you think about it, it made sense that I dropped school because
Yeah.
me, I was not special. I was just like everybody else in need of more money. And I said, just like everybody else, right, I'm going to go off with the school and I'm going to get some money and I'm going to find a job and this and that because everybody was desperate. So, yeah, but luckily for me, at the time, I did find a few things that I could do. So, but yeah, that's the sort of the community. It was not 100%. Obviously, you had good things here there, but mainly it was a bit crazy. It was a bit crazy.
Yeah. So was there a lot of unemployment?
It was, but it's not. It was not just that. Even if there were jobs, they were very, very low paid.
Okay.
So you never had enough. You had to have a job and you had to do something extra on top of it because otherwise, most likely, you're not going to afford a mortgage. You're not going to afford a car. You're not going to afford this, that. I really got lucky because I've been working in those EU projects and that was sort of EU level money rather than Romanian money
Yeah.
level.
Yeah.
So that was my luck there. And I gained some experience with working with people, with working with, you know, uh, um, a different type of groups of people and so on, especially vulnerable groups. And I kind of built up a little bit of experience.
Yeah.
And that was a bit lucky. That was a bit lucky. So, but I know people in, I don't know, in 2008, let's say, if I was paid, I think, 700 euros a month, mainly in Romania, the salary was about 300 euros.
Wow.
But in EU projects, it was a bit different. They had to give you the EU level average monthly salary, whatever it was at the time, 2008. But whoever was working sort of, just a normal job with a private company or with the local government, you were getting, I don't know, 300 euros max. That was max.
That must have been so strange to witness because that's almost like a two-tier system, doesn't it, in the same country,
Yeah,
depending on
yeah,
where the money's coming from. That must have been
exactly.
that's really weird.
I understood later what happened, really. Um, I kind of managed to, my journey of waking up, sort of,
Yeah.
and most of stackers will know what I mean
Yeah.
when we say waking up. The journey started in 2011 because I went to a master degree and I was looking into what was it called? Government contemporary security. That's what I've done for 2 years.
And that was a master's degree, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
And in order to do that, if you don't read Kissinger,
Mhm.
main main work diplomacy,
Mhm.
you will never pass. And Kissinger explains what does a government do, because he was the main counselor of Nixon. And he explains what is a public policy, what needs governments to do, what does EU mean, what does US mean, what are the relationship between the two,
Mhm.
what is the Asian bloc of countries, and what are they trying to do, and so on and so on. And then seeing the situation in Romania, right, and reading throughout Kissinger's diplomacy and going through the um, government, EU government's public policies regarding everything, financial, education, security, you name it. That was my starting journey, because I realized a little bit what's going on, and I didn't like what I saw.
Okay, and
Because,
sorry to butt in, was you doing your master's degree whilst working on the European Union project stuff? So you're doing
yeah,
both.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
All right. So is that like an evening course or something, your master's or?
Yeah, it was a full day, but nobody bothered as long as you kind of pass your exams, which I didn't, not all the time, obviously, because I was working and never had enough time.
Yeah.
But eventually I made it. I should have got that in 1 year, but I've got the whole thing in 2 years instead of one.
Okay.
So yeah. But what I'm saying is Romania being Romania at the
Hmm.
time, and I was in a master degree studying all these EU government policies from different governments, UK including, and what does the World Bank means and what does it do, what's going on with the International Monetary Fund, and so on, what is ONU, what is OSCE, so on and so on. So you study all these international organizations and their public policies and so on and so on. And then I realized, okay, when Romania is here, everybody's crazy, looking for jobs, looking for money, and the policy are, just lies,
Uh,
just lies throw into the people's eyes just to look, we're going to do this, we're going to do that. And I realized what happened historically, starting 1955, I want to say, I think, uh, with the Treaty of Rome, when the European Union was born, on principles of Adam Smith, I want to say. I don't know. I forgot. Anyway, getting a few countries together in a common government, this, that, and we're going to make the United States of Europe, because that's the main goal of EU, which apparently is not going to work anymore, but who knows? I don't know. That's a different story. That's a different subject. But
mm,
they started as that. And now apparently we don't have enough. We don't want United States and EU states. We want a global government that can rule us all.
o-
Apparently. I
okay.
might be wrong.
So obviously, how old was you when you was doing those masters? 2011, 30?
Uh, 30, yeah.
Yeah,
33,
about 30.
30. Yeah.
About
In my
30 years
30s,
ago.
anyway.
Sorry?
In my 30s, yeah.
Okay, so did how did that as a 30-year-old young man
Mm,
living in Romania, how did when you started to take that on board, how did that affect you? Did it affect you? Did you give a monkeys or did it sort of, oh my God?
yeah,
Hmm.
it
And
did.
did that start to make you look and observe what's around you and how people are and
Exactly. Because
okay.
but when you start a little bit and realizing what's going on in the
Mhm.
background, uh, then you start thinking about yourself. You start thinking, okay, so what am I doing? How am I going to battle this?
Mhm.
I'm not going to battle this. I'm not going to be able to. I'm too small. I've got no tools whatsoever to counter this. And that was 2013, after I finished the masters, when I
Yeah.
realized, okay, this is bad. This is really bad. And whatever I'm going to do, whatever job I'm going to get in here, in the political context of Romania being part of EU,
Yeah.
I'm never going to make it. I'm never going to make it out.
Okay. But you
Um,
but you ended up at the airport.
yeah, I did. I did, and that was 2014 to 2018. And that was a decent job compared to other jobs and decent pay, let's say. It wasn't so bad, but still in the back of my mind, knowing what you know and realizing that something's not just right and shouldn't be like this, you know,
Yeah.
you shouldn't be in that situation where you go, you work hard, you do extra hours, this, that, and you hardly afford the mortgage and, I don't know, second-hand car
Mhm.
and just a normal life. But in order to have a normal life, you work so much and so hard. And I wasn't, 2013, I wasn't alone. Oh, I wasn't alone for many years now. The missus was with me.
I was gonna. That was. It's funny you should say that because that was going to be my next question. Well, outside of all of this, is Darth still on his own, or you living still with your parents, or we haven't sort
No,
of
no.
got to know that bit? Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Yeah, so remember I told you I was a b-boy?
Yes.
Right. So 2000, I
Hmm.
go in the club, I do a couple of slicky moves, and there she was.
Excellent.
Yeah, and from that moment on, it was forever.
Oh, wonderful.
Yeah, we are 2024, so we have 24 years
Nice.
since we are together, and we only got married in 2014 because that was the year when finally, so after 14 years of relationship,
Yeah.
we finally got married because with my, if you remember, right, with my EU projects money, I
Sure.
kind of had a deposit for a small apartment in 2012.
Yeah.
And in 2014, when I went into the airport, I kind of had enough to move forward and do the wedding and everything.
Sure.
And that was it. But yeah, it, it took us like 14 years of hard work to to
Wow.
kind of,
And a lot of studying as well. It seems
and a
like
lot of studying. It's
you've been
insane.
studying like a Trojan as well through all
But
that
don't
time.
get me wrong, it was all good and it was nice. I loved reading, and
Yeah.
that was the main reason I went to a master degree. And it sound the title, it sound the department itself, in
Yeah.
uni, it sounded so interesting,
Yeah.
like government, um, contemporary government security.
Yeah.
I went, wow, okay,
Yeah.
and I asked a lady there, the secretary or whoever it was, is this looking just Romanian or international? No, no, it's international relationship. It's international relations department. So, oh, okay, that's cool. I'm in. So yeah, I enjoy it, and
Yeah.
like I said, I do love reading. I don't have reading. I don't have the time for reading now, but I do have an Audible
Yeah.
subscription. So
Yeah.
before I go to bed, I listen to something,
Yeah.
good or bad, but I
Yeah.
listen to something.
So
But I
bef
enjoy it. Yeah.
that's cool. Before we get into the airport phase, now we know there's a Mrs. Darth around,
Oh yeah.
and she's been around for a while because of your absolutely wonderful, fantastic breakdancing moves at a
Of
club one night.
course. Oh, if you only knew. Oh God.
That's great. It's so good. It's so cool. So cool. Can you just give us an idea of what was the general for you both? Obviously from your 20s, 30s, getting up into 33 mark. What was it? What was the cost of living like? What was your standard of living for most people of your age in that time,
First
mate?
of all, first of all, you had no standard.
Okay.
There's no such thing. It was a standard.
Okay.
But yeah, you were just in your 30s, 33. So, 10 years ago, you were just trying to go by, sort
Yeah.
of, and you start to have some hope because a couple of years ago, or in 2012, you're thinking, well, I've got a deposit, I've got this little apartment, I've got the missus, right? What do I need?
Yeah.
A better job, a good job, so
Yeah.
I can provide for my future son, which was not in place at the time.
Yeah.
And that's what you were thinking, really. But
Okay.
but standards as such, not really. You were just trying to go by,
Yeah.
do your thing, do your job, come home,
Yeah.
add some money a little bit here, a little bit there,
Yeah.
and see how it goes.
Okay. So, and then you end up, how did you end up getting a job in an airport?
Yeah, I just hopped in one day, and I went to the what you call it? Because so this guy was a general, the head of the airport itself.
Yeah.
I went to his door. I knocked on the door and I said, "Look, I've got this. I've done law school. I've done a master degree in security, and I think I can do this. But I I don't know if it was confidence. I don't know if it was something that I really needed to do. Maybe a bit of both. But I knew I needed a very steady job
Yeah.
and a little bit of a better job. And I said, well, I'm going straight up to the top guy. If he says yes, I'm going to get this. If he says no, I'm not.
Yeah.
And job done. So I went there and he was amazed because you don't do that in Romania. You don't
No.
go to the to the biggest CEO. Hey, hello, my name is this. I can do this and that.
Yeah.
But he kind of looked at me laughing and he said, you know what? Come into my office. And I did. And he started asking me questions. Who was your criminal teacher? That. Oh, yeah, I know him. So if I give him a call, would he vouch for you? Definitely. Are you sure? Yes, I'm very sure. Right, so what else you've done? Well, I've done a master degree in security. Oh, who was your teachers there? And luckily, that's what I was lucky with. And I think that's where I got the job.
Wow.
So, yeah, because he asked me, who was your teachers? And obviously, the people who will teach you about government security is all ex-military generals, colonels, and so on. You know, that's what you get.
Yeah.
And as I started to name them, he said, "Yeah, I'm still meeting with some of them." And I said, "Well, you can call them, and you can get the reference and see who I am, how I was, this, that." I was really good at the masters. I published a few things here and there when I got
Yeah.
the chance.
Yeah.
And he said, right, okay, I'm not going to do this now, but I will do it. In the meantime, I can give you a job. And I said, perfect. Where? Well, I'm missing out legal advisors on the contract department. I said, right, if you give me the junior job, I'll start there and we'll see what's what. He said, right, you have 6 months to prove me that you can do it. I said, it's fine. I'll prove it in a month, which I did. And
Yeah.
then he gave me what's the name? I don't know the name in English. It's a, uh, what is it? Undated contract, as in permanent
Right.
contract.
A permanent contract. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. And he gave me a permanent contract after a month, and from
Yeah.
there on,
Yeah.
it was done. So that was 2000 beginning January. I think it was January. Yeah, January 2014. Yeah,
Okay. And you was doing that for 4 years. Yeah.
yeah. 14, 15, 16, 17. and
18.
all the way to 2018.
Cool. And did you enjoy it? Was it an eye opener? Was it
Uh,
just run of the mill? Was there anything sort of really interesting that you want to talk about
Not really. Not
whilst you
really.
was there? No, it's just boring.
It was not that it was boring. It was interesting, but uh, it was just way too much work. You had to do overtime and you were not paid. Okay? That's how it goes. And that's still going on in Romania.
Yeah.
You're doing overtime and you're not getting paid and you get frustrated and you get a lot of responsibility
Yeah.
because you're creating a contract from scratch with Lufthansa Air, and you keep back and forth that contract. You send them to them, they send amendments, you send your amendments, and you keep fighting, sort of in brackets, obviously.
Mhm.
And until it's done, it's going to be like 3, 4 months of work with that contract alone, and you have to look into another 10 or 15
Mhm.
in the same period. So it's a lot of work, a lot of stress. The head of the airport is knocking on your door. Is that ready? Is that one ready? Why is not that ready?
Yeah.
And stuff like that. The pressure is absolutely insane. And in aviation, uh, I don't know if anybody or if anybody from whoever will listen to this, they know, but in aviation, things are very, very sensitive.
Yeah.
They are very procedural.
Yeah.
You can't go an inch
Yeah.
nowhere. You
Makes
have to go,
makes
you know.
sense. Yeah.
Yeah. It's a very it's a beautiful world. It's a great world, but it requires a lot of work, a lot of attention, a lot of stress, a lot of, and yeah, uh, the money was not that great, but it was cool. It was all right. Don't get me wrong, it was all right.
Cool.
But yeah,
Cool. So that was 2018. What happened in 2018?
in 2017,
Okay.
in 2017, my son was born.
We little
Yeah,
Darth.
yeah, little Darth came over, and in 2018, beginning of 2018, I look back at my life
Hmm.
and I've said, right, I was born in 81. I went to high school. I went to uni. I've done another master degree. In between, I've done different courses and stuff. There's no point mentioning them. But anyway,
Hmm. Yeah. I think we all get the drift. Like you spent most
yeah,
of your life studying.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. And um, while I was in the airport, 2014, um, I went into a PhD as well. But I went in for money. And while I was with the PhD, I actually earned quite a little bit extra
Sorry.
because,
Sorry. What do you mean you went into a PhD? You started
yeah,
studying for a
yeah,
doctorate?
yeah, 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 but not for the
Wow.
knowledge, not for the passion. I went in because I did not have enough money. And I knew
Yeah.
some ways to make money, and you can make money with a PhD if you know where to go and what to do.
Okay.
Yeah, and all you need is to access some EU funds that you say you're gonna write a big paperwork on something that gets presented into a convention, and then you get the money.
Hold on,
You
Darth.
actually,
Yeah, Darth, I'm just getting my head around this at the moment.
right,
So,
okay,
so 2014, you're working in an airport.
yeah,
You've blagged your way in.
yeah,
You've got a job now, a permanent
yeah,
job. You're saying
yeah,
it's mega stressful because of the
yeah,
environment. You're
yeah,
creating contracts.
yeah,
And on top of that, you're doing a doctorate.
yes,
For God's
exactly.
sake, man.
Hold on a minute.
Wow. Wow,
No,
wow, wow. Go
no,
on.
no, no, wow, hold on a minute.
No, no,
It's
no.
not.
I can say wow because I want to say wow. That's really
Okay,
cool. That's amazing. Go on.
hold on a minute.
Yeah, go on.
The thing is, I went into the PhD not because I was passionate about, because I already knew I've done a master's. I knew it was pretty much for nothing. Any more diplomas in Romania is not going to help me. But like I said, please do remember, I went into that because I knew as long as you get to publish something yearly, you can get some funds from different scientific projects, right? And that was the thing. And that's what I did. I published a
Okay.
few things
Mm.
about migration, about um, um, really, really, I was really into social economy and migration. And pretty much I've done a couple of conferences about that as a PhD student. And I've also got lucky. People liked what they read, what they saw, what it was. And I've got quite a sort of a scholarship with these things.
Yeah.
And then there was quite another half a salary, let's say,
Yeah.
at the time. And I knew I could, I knew I had the chance to do that. And I've done it. And that was the only reason I've done it. But anyway, going back 2017,
Did you
my
manage to
son,
spend some time with Mrs. Darth during all this?
well, how
Bless
would I
her.
put it? Saturday, Sunday, I was looking into a bit of the PhD.
Yeah.
And Monday to Friday, you were working. But 2 hours, Sunday, 2 hours, Saturday, Sunday, looking into PhD. And maybe if you get 1 hour or 2 hours at work on a Friday
Wow.
or something like that. Or sometimes you do wake up at 4 o'clock in the morning because you need to finish that paper by tomorrow. So you got to go on. Your referencing at the end of the paper is not very good, and you still have 2 days to go, and you're not finished. So yeah,
Wow.
yeah,
Wow.
it was a bit crazy, but
Yeah.
uh, I it was an experience. I've seen that world of sort of old academic,
Yeah.
scientific people, going through their papers, discovering stuff, presenting at conventions. The best one was in Venice. I had to go in Venice once, which was cool. It was all paid by the uni as well. So hey ho, happy days.
Yeah.
Um, it was a history convention, and I came up with a paper of migrations in the early early years after the Dark Ages
Yeah.
in EU in Europe, and I came with a paper, and that was my sort of my. I was with migrations and social economy, but it fit perfectly at the time that paper within the convention subjects. But that was really cool. But I think it was the best one because you're in there for 5 days and you get to visit Venice. Your hotel is paid, your everything, and it was cool. It was all right. And yeah, you're getting paid as well. You're getting some money out of it. So yeah. But yeah, what I was going to say is in 2017, my son was born, and I kind of look back at my life. So 2014, 15, 16, 17, this was my fourth year, I think. Yeah, of PhD. And little Darth is born, and then I kind of worried a little bit. And I'm thinking, I'm in this state with my life
Yeah.
after all that school, after all those jobs, after all those 4 a.m., 3 a.m. waking up in the morning for a lot of time, sacrificing time with the missus, obviously, because I had to do stuff and so on. And bless her, I wouldn't be here if it wasn't for her, because she did understood that I need to do things,
Yeah.
and she always backed me up. As manly as we want to be, I want the community to hear this. As manly as we want to be, I think definitely the missus do have a say into our lives. And me, personally, I got lucky. The missus was really there for me.
Cool.
Yeah. But yeah, I look back at my life in 2017 and I kept looking and looking all the way to 2018 while little Darth already was 1 year old.
Yeah.
And I didn't like what I saw. And I said it was way too much work for what have I achieved so far. And I said, right, enough is enough. I went to, because what bugged me really, it was one thing. I went to the airport to work late November 2018, and they said, oh, we want you to be officially, because I was unofficially, but they said, we want you to be officially the head, um, the head officer for the uh, contracts office, right? Sort of the boss of the contracts office.
Yep.
And I said, right, that's fine. Am I going to get something cha-ching? And they said, yeah, of course. We'll give you about £100 extra a month. I went mad. I went absolutely mad. And then I realized pretty much that was the biggest achievement that I will do within that institution.
Yeah.
Because there was a government. So I was a civil servant, really.
Yeah.
The international airport where I was working, it belongs to the government. So I was a civil servant and so on and so on. And when they said that, I went home. I spoke to my wife and I said, listen, they offered me a lousy another £100 in today's money, sort of a month.
Yeah.
It wasn't 100 back then, but in today's money, just for people to understand it, it was about £100 in today's money. And I said to the missus, look, they gave me this and they want me to run really and to be responsible and to that with the contracts office. And I said, you know what? I'm not going to do it. I'm going to quit tomorrow. She went mad. She went, what? Are you insane? And I said, listen, we have a little Darth there, and I don't think this is going to work. So I went back to the airport and I said, right, thank you very much, but no thank you. I quit. And I did quit my job.
Okay.
Right there, right then. And I came to UK.
You came to the UK?
Yeah.
All right. Okay.
And that was the end of 2018, November, beginning of December. So yeah, that was me. That was me in the UK. And yeah, after a couple of months, the missus came over and we are here ever since.
Oh wow. So how did you find that? Did you find it easy just to come over to the UK at that time, or
Oh, not really.
was it
Not
like
really.
jumping through hurdles? You made it sound
Yeah.
like, oh, I just come to the UK.
Well, yeah, well, obviously it's not,
Yeah. Yeah.
it's not easy to move one country to another and this and
Sure.
that. Um, back in Romania, I remember, I sold so that was 2018, and I had a 2015. I had a 2015 car, which was really nice, and I sold that so I can come to the UK.
Okay.
I didn't know what to expect, so obviously, I think I sold it back then for 5K. Yeah. So I left 2K at home and 3K. I came to the UK with 3K.
Wow.
Yeah.
So it's what I got to ask you a question.
Yeah.
Was there any reason why you just came to the UK? What it was
I kind of had
more
enough.
than any other countries or anything, or
No, there was because, well, obviously I had enough of the Romanian system,
Mhm.
and
Yeah,
I'm not going to put little Darth through what I've been through.
fair enough.
all that school and all that study for nothing, really.
Yeah.
But not for nothing, but
Yeah.
financially, no, not really.
Yeah.
And that's why I choose UK. I mean, obviously, because the only language that I could speak properly was English.
Fair enough. That makes sense.
And I did thought about it. And I said, right, where am I going? I need to make a change, a big change. I need to start over. I need to do something. Where am I going? Well, what language do I know? English, right. England it is then. I phoned up a friend in here and I said, listen, I need a I need a rent for a couple of months. Can you hook me up? And he said,
Wow.
no, no, I'm not gonna hook you up. You can come and see with me for 3 months. Rent free, no problem. Nothing. You don't get to pay nothing, mate. You're fine. Come along.
Wow. What a
That
friend.
was yeah, what a friend, exactly. That was really, really lucky. Really lucky. So for 3 or 4 months I had no rent. The whole I mean, I only came with 3K, but the next week I came in, I realized what the system is.
Hmm.
Sort of, you have to go apply for an agency, get the work. Whenever the agency calls you, go to work,
Yeah.
because then you get more work and so on and so on. So the next week, I was already working. I had a national insurance number. I was already working, and I just kept on going. Picker, packer, sorter, cleaner, you name it,
Yeah.
whatever.
Yeah.
For the whole year, I'd done all kind of jobs. And from there on, yeah, it was a bit easier as soon as I walked into an office job with HMRC. I was an admin officer with HMRC, and I went down this path to environmental health. And you know what I've did with environmental health, didn't you? We did have the chat on the phone,
Yeah.
if you
Yeah.
remember.
I know. I've
Yeah.
been waiting for it.
Oh, right, because there was no choice. So whatever I've studied in Romania, it wasn't enough because it wasn't that right department. So I had to go to uni again and done a master degree in environmental health because otherwise you can't be an environmental health officer. So at some point, after 2 years in HMRC, I found this job as a environmental health officer, and today I'm a port health officer, right?
Yeah.
For it purely because uh, last year they said, right, if you want to keep the job, I think we need really specialized people, qualified people. You can't be a technical assistant and so on. You need to be an officer, port health officer, environmental health officer. And I
Yeah.
said, right, what do I need to do? Well, we can pay you for the master degree because you already done law school. So we're not going to go down that road, but we can get you into a master degree. And if you finish, you can still have the job. And right, so I just finished that about a few months ago in February. So finally, actually, finally now, after a couple of years of going through jobs and jobs and jobs and this and that, and again, a little bit of more uni. By the way, all my friends are laughing at me so much
Bloody
with
hell.
this. They go, right, so what you gonna do next year? And I just showed them the finger because,
I
yeah,
don't blame you.
yeah,
Wow. Wow. So in your very late 30s, you're back at school.
yeah. I had to
Oh,
go. I had to go. So I'm 43.
yeah.
So 2 years ago, I had to enroll again when
Yeah.
I was 41. Jesus, it's like, but now I'm to the other end. I don't want it anymore.
Yeah.
Don't like it anymore. I don't. I had enough. I
Yeah. I'm
had
not
enough.
surprised.
I just, you know, let me, let me just hit up a light there. It's a bit better.
You know, basically a lifetime so far. I've just study, degree, law, masters this, masters that. Wow, that's just doctorate. Oh my God.
I haven't finished, by the way.
Conferences. Wow.
Hold on a minute. So
Yeah.
I haven't finished the PhD. I called my teacher,
Yeah.
my my teacher in back in Romania in 2018, and I said, "I'm sorry. I am so sorry. you got me through this 4 years, but I'm gonna let it go. I need to go. And amazingly, he was quite cool with it, okay with it. And he said, yeah, if that's what you need to do, do it. Let me know if you need anything. And yeah, that was the end of the PhD. I never finished it. So, but yeah, it was cool times. It was cool times because you get again. I got another phase of the new generation in when I was in the PhD because you had when you work with a PhD, you have to teach at uni for a whole year.
All
Otherwise,
right. Yeah.
yeah, you're never going to get the PhD. So I did that. I I took the year one students political philosophy. I was the seminars, not the main teacher, obviously, because I'm
Yeah.
not a uni professor, but the seminars for political philosophy. That was what
Yeah.
I was doing. And again, when I taught high school, I got to see a little bit of that generation. And in 2000, a couple of years later, in 2015, 16, I got to see the uni generation.
Okay.
Yeah, which was cool. But I think I've seen at the time they were called snowflakes. Do you know
Yeah.
the
Yeah. I
snowflakes
know. Yeah.
generation?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
So,
that that's amazing. Absolutely amazing. There's a few things I just so obviously Mrs. Darth come over. Little
yeah,
Darth has come over and you've made your home in the UK,
yeah.
which is brilliant. Absolutely. That's amazing. I
Yeah,
find
thanks.
that's a lifetime of study. Study. It's interesting. It's so interesting. It-
I'll tell you what, if anything, maybe it didn't help with the jobs and all of that because you were living in a country that was that country, and that country was what it was.
yeah, exactly.
But don't get me wrong, I'm not sorry for studying. I'm not. Every now and then, you kind of find things and you see different things from different perspective, or if you will, you look at the same thing from different perspectives. And all that study, I think it helped me a little bit to understand
Oh, absolutely.
here, there, what's going on around me. And like I said, uh, that security master woke me up a little bit, and the PhD as well, because you got to I looked into migrations a lot and what is the reason that people migrate besides the general one,
Yeah.
besides war and besides, you know, stuff like that. And you get to understand how the world starts to move, how the world is really conducted. And you kind of feel, well, something's fishy, something's going on. Hold on, this doesn't marry up with that.
Yeah.
So why? What's going on here? You start asking yourself questions, and then at some point you do wake up. You will wake up because you'll find you'll find what's what,
Yeah,
or at least
exactly.
you at least you being you know honest to yourself, and you kind of try to figure out what's going on, and
Hmm.
you realize, hold on, yeah, still is something there.
Yeah.
So I need to be careful. I need to change this. I need to change that. You're
Yeah.
more aware.
Yeah. Yeah. Interesting. Absolutely fascinating. Can I just ask you now, you're obviously known as Darth Precious Metals.
Yeah,
So obviously you're into your precious metals.
yeah.
When did that journey start? Or has that always been a part of you?
Not not really always. Not really always. But I'll tell you what happened. I've seen it before. I've seen it before. My From my mom's side, my my grandpa, sorry, my grandma from my mother's side was a gypsy,
Okay.
and as such, And as such, my grandma, which I haven't seen her because I hardly remember her, and uh, she she was very old, but I I only seen her a couple of years, and I hardly remember her. But anyway, uh, because of that, she was wearing, and I know the stories from my dad and mainly my mom, obviously. She was wearing. Let me not say this the wrong way. I think it was, yeah, it was one ducat Franz Joseph coins in her hair.
Okay.
Yeah, if you look online and you just Google that, you will see how that community was involved into that kind of thing.
Okay.
And that was pretty much it.
Mm.
And then the I realized, and I always knew gold and silver, it's a precious metal.
Yeah.
And I always knew that kind of uh it will just I knew it holds value, really, at least. But I never went into it only at the beginning of last year.
All right. Okay.
Yeah, when I remembered my mum talking to me about grandma, that listen, she is actually halfway there because she was halfway gypsy, and well,
Okay.
she had not stacking, she was not stacking, but she kind of never let go of those
Yeah.
Franz Josef ducats.
Yeah.
Only a few of them in the hair, but back in the day, that was the thing. Uh, those women were going out in town, leaving one coin to a shop and saying, "Look, my son is coming here for the next few months. Is that okay?" Yeah, that's fine. Thank you very much. No problem. We'll put that on credit.
Yeah.
So that was the thing. But anyway, I remembered a little bit and just the whole stories and this and that. But that only started last year, uh,
2023.
2023, January to
And what?
December, January.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And what was the catalyst to sort of go, oh, I need to start buying this for
Yeah.
you? What
But
what what
well,
was it
I
that
got
made
I
you?
got a bit I got a bit lucky, and at some point with family and such, I got my hands on a little bit of money.
Okay.
Not too much, not too much. It was not enough to start something like a business or
Yeah.
anything,
Yeah. Yeah.
but it was still a bit something.
Enough.
And obviously, I had a bit of saving back from Romania and so on and so on. And I was thinking, right, I've got this little bit of money, and what am I supposed to do here? I knew gold and silver holds their value, and I started looking on YouTube,
Mhm.
investing on gold and silver, and I'm never gonna forget. I think I found Backyard Bullion and then 365.
Yeah.
That's what I found last year in
Mm.
January.
Yeah.
Uh, I did, yeah, that's what I found. And then I kept thinking about it and thinking about it. And at some point, I said, you know what? I don't know what to do with this money. I have no idea what's going to happen. I was aware, obviously, already. I was aware of the inflation. I was aware of what's going on. Um, the dollar. Uh, I kind of worried a lot about my savings, and with all the stories and the whole CBDCs and all that lot,
Yeah.
I was thinking, right, this is going down the drain. What am I doing? And I looked into, because kind of like I said, I kind of knew precious metals before, but in form of jewelry, really.
Yeah.
And I knew people were buying, jewelry to, preserve their money.
Yeah.
Uh, but then I looked online and I said, right, I don't have that much money, but I still have something. So I spent that money. I divided them in 12 months, and I've got the dollar cost average, and
Yeah.
I understood what that means.
Yeah.
And I kind of kept, uh, religiously to
Yeah.
it. And I divided the money in 12 months, and that's how I've got every month a bit of gold, a bit of silver here
Yeah.
and there. And eventually, I've got the stack that I've got
Yeah.
today,
Yeah.
and
Oh,
it's still
sorry, excuse
going.
me. Yeah.
And it's still
Ah,
going. And I hope it will still go.
yeah.
But yeah, nowadays it's a lot harder, and I do get it, and I feel the pain of every member of the stacking community. Everything went up. Everything,
Yeah.
is going down the drain, and it's so hard nowadays, even to get on silver. Bullion silver is, maybe, I want to say, it's not that affordable anymore. I don't know. I might be wrong,
Yeah.
but
No,
it
you're
went
right.
up a little bit as well. And even with silver, when you think about it, you think, well, just one coin a week.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, just one coin a week, but that's going to, I don't know, 32, 35 pounds. When you look at
Mm,
it a month, you're looking at almost 150,
yeah.
which it's not nothing. So yeah, and gold is a bit more, maybe not that affordable, but still 1 gram bar, 2 gram bars, 5 grams, one sovereign, half a sovereign, whatever I can get on a monthly basis. If that's only a half a sovereign, I'll get a half a sovereign. It is what it is. If it's 1 gram bar, I'll get a 1 gram bar.
Yeah.
And yeah, but yeah, me going into stacking is just that I've got a little bit of luck, let's say, and I've got my hands on this little money, and I didn't know what to do. But like I said, it was not enough to start a business or whatever.
Yeah.
And yeah, precious metals, it was pretty much straightforward. And looking into it, obviously I found, like I said, 365 and backyard bullion. And then I keep searching and searching, and I found all those American channels
Yeah.
across the pond. And yeah,
The rest is history.
yeah, the rest
Amazing.
is
Sorry, mate.
just gold and silver. The rest is just gold and silver.
Yeah, it is. Yeah. But it's fascinating, isn't it? Because I've been listening to you. I can't believe you've been on an hour and 45 minutes.
Wow.
Where did that go?
No
It's,
idea.
it's
Wow.
crazy, isn't it? I've been listening and you know, just listening to your story where you've had to just keep working. I mean, working and studying, which I class as work, just to try and improve and have a decent-ish standard of life. And you've chased that for quite a few years. And it's quite really cool to think that going through that, now you're protecting that that whole philosophy now through your precious metals, which is really cool to
Yeah.
see. It's
Yeah.
really cool to see. And there's great moral in that story, really.
I'll
Um,
tell you what. I'll tell you what. I think all that work, whatever it was, studying or work or whatever. And to be honest, I'm sure there's so many people out there. They've just done the same thing
oh, yeah.
throughout their life, trying to work, maybe trying to study a little bit, trying to get better, so on and so on. And then at some point, just like with me, precious metals done it for me,
Yeah.
rather than studying, rather than working. If you know what I mean.
Yeah, I do. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. So I think that is the key thing here. I think precious metals can do that. Not only precious metals for the time being. You would know this better than me,
Yeah.
obviously, but I think for the time being, for example, Bitcoin can do that as well. And if you are careful, maybe even investing in the markets. But that, anyway, different topics, different discussions. All I'm saying is, I think there are people out there that done the same thing, but unfortunately, they haven't discovered the precious metals
No.
yet,
They're
and they're
chasing
not
it.
part of this community,
Yeah, they're chasing a
which
different
is,
dream.
yeah, yeah,
Similar to what you've
unfortunately.
just spoke about, really. You're chasing that educational dream. What
Yeah,
we're all, what most of us, it's a similar story for most of us, me included. We're all no
it would
different.
be.
We
Yeah,
just chase that dream of what we're told right from a young age. Rightly, wrongly, whatever, it's irrelevant. But
yeah.
we're told it, and then we chase it, and we chase it, and we chase it. And yeah, I think some people just chase it for the rest of their lives, and others will find it, find another answer another way, like you have with your precious metals. I have too, and all my investment and doing things like this, talking, and yeah, it's amazing. I can't thank you enough for sharing that story. It's really powerful, mate. Really powerful.
No, the pleasure was all mine, and I think all all the creators uh, on YouTube, TikTok, and all this stacking community, uh, I think is doing a great thing, really,
Mm,
with all this uh, whatever's going on YouTube and TikTok, because I think it gets the message out
yeah,
there, and especially like your podcast,
yeah,
you you get people in here that look. This is one experience. This is another experience. Look at Cobra. Look at Darth. Look at that. Look at
yeah,
that.
yeah.
And people, hopefully, I really hope people are going to get this,
Mm,
because I think that's why we are here, and I think we have a certain purpose
yeah.
with this, to get this forward and to put the message out there. Just be careful if you're chasing that number one job that you want, or that education. Maybe you should stop. Maybe you should take a step back. Not stop forever, but take a step back and just rethink a little bit, because you might get new ideas. You might get new ideas and new directions that might be better. Don't know. Just saying.
No, you're right. You're right. Sometimes we have to ban. I often say it, a break from the noise of life, just to
Yep.
realise where we are sometimes. Oh, Darth, thank you very much for sharing that. I really appreciate it. Where can people find you if they want to come and see what you're up to and what you're doing and what you're collecting,
Well,
what you're stacking?
yeah, obviously YouTube. So it's Darth Precious Metals on YouTube.
Mhm.
But recently I went on TikTok. I'm not doing that much over there, here or there. It's a lot easier, to be honest, on TikTok, because you don't have to edit. You just film, click, it's there. But mainly YouTube. And yeah, we are getting close to, what is it now? I think it's 300 subscribers. So, which is cool. I can't be thankful enough, honestly.
Mm.
It's amazing. I've got 300 people there that actually are looking into this. It's amazing. I never expected to happen,
Yeah,
really, but it's good. So yeah, YouTube, Dark Precious Metals. That's where you're going to find me.
yeah. Well, hopefully you'll get plenty more after this one.
I'm sure. I'm sure we will. We will, because the stacking community itself is growing in the UK. So hey
Yeah,
ho, we
nice.
we're definitely doing something good. So
Oh, 100%. Yeah,
the
definitely.
message is getting out there
Yeah.
slowly, slowly.
Thank you, sir. Really appreciate it.
Yeah, thank you, CPM. This was really great honor.
I
Thank you
wish you well.
so much.
Hang on the line. I'll stop it in a minute and I'll have a chat afterwards. But I best wishes to you. Best wishes to little Darth. How old's little Darth now?
7.
7. Wow. And
Yeah,
very best wishes to that very caring, lovely partner that you are married to.
yeah, yeah.
That's a
Thank you very
special
much.
woman. And if you've got any pictures of you breakdancing, I'd love to see them. You're
Yeah,
gonna get
you
some.
know what?
You'll get some stick over that. No.
We'll put some coins on the floor, and I'll do a video with the feet. I'll do something. That's all you get.
Don't blame you. Cheers, buddy. Really appreciate it. Thank you so much
Yeah,
indeed.
it was my pleasure. Thank you very much.
No worries. You take care.